Okay, so we're going to call to order the September 6th meeting of the Boulder Creek Recreation Parks and Recreation District, Boulder Creek Parks and Recreation District Board of Directors. Let's start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, let's move on to roll call.
Director Garces is here.
Director Gold is here.
Director Fitzgerald is here. Director Valdivia, I believe, is running late, and Director Hamilton is excused. Okay, so we have a quorum. Who would like to read the mission statement this evening?
Our mission statement is to provide quality programs and services through the provision of facilities, parks, and activities which enrich and improve the quality of life for people living in our community.
Thank you.
And in our county as well, I might add.
That's right.
Yeah, and San Jose too.
And beyond.
Right.
Just don't tell them we're here.
Right.
Okay, so moving on to approval of the agenda. Are there any public comments relating to approval of the agenda? Hearing none. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I will move.
Second. Is there any board discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Oral communications. Now is the time for members of the public to address the board on any matter within the jurisdiction of the board that is not on the agenda. Is that good enough?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
You're good.
And for that purpose, we have a 3-minute limit, which is gonna be, if I can get it working properly, will show up here. Green, yellow, and red.
Could I just use her time too, and just read it all at once? Or?
It's at the chair's
Yes.
discretion.
Okay.
That's okay?
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Okay.
And what else was I going to say? Could you state your name for the record?
Of course. My name is Matt Smith.
Go ahead.
Okay. My name is Matt Smith, and I'm speaking on behalf of Rachel Wooster, who is unable to be here this evening. The packet in front of you has several documents which detail why Hallie teamed Rachel with Leslie and Tina as a partner and volunteer for the Visitor Center and KBCZ radio station. The acts of discrimination she encountered because of her physical disabilities, the handling of the claim, and request for resolution. Quick timeline. Despite being informed verbally and in writing, a non-adjustable standing desk was installed and seen by Rachel Wooster for the first time on April 11th. Rachel was never informed of the standing desk before it was installed, nor of the physical requirements to be agreed or changing from sitting for 5 hours to standing for 5 hours. The next day, April 12th, there was a verbal exchange between Leslie and Rachel, culminating in Leslie implying that since Rachel was not able to stand, she must somehow greet people with her back to the door. Later that day, Rachel hand-delivered a letter to Hallie right before the board meeting stating that she was quitting physically volunteering at the Visitor Center. The next day, Hallie emailed confirmation of the receipt of that letter and stating, "I have discussed the ADA concerns with our board and we plan to address this." June 8th, after 2 months of no changes, Rachel met with Hallie and requested resolution of the matter. It was agreed that an ADA consultant would inspect the space and any necessary changes would be made. Additionally, the standing desk would be changed out for a desk that can accommodate multiple mobility types. Sometime between June 15th and July 4th, your first ADA consultant inspected the space and changed the layout of the furniture. However, the standing desk remained as the only desk facing the door. No written report was created. August 1st, a second ADA consultant inspected the space and a written report was created, but Rachel didn't receive it until Wednesday, August 23rd, mere hours before the last board meeting. August 28th, Rachel found out for the first time you had 2 separate inspectors. She then called your second ADA consultant, Bill Hall, and discovered he wasn't informed the space was already inspected and changes had been made due to an unresolved ADA claim. Additionally, he wasn't told that the wall between the front area and the sound studio was installed January this year, despite noting in his report that a conversation had occurred. Currently, the door to the sound studio needs to be changed out for one that is 32 inches or wider in accordance to 2016 California Building Code and ADA. And the hardware for the front door and door to the sound studio needs to be changed out for ADA compliant levers. All of this should have been compliant from the beginning, especially since while this was happening, BCRPD was fundraising to make the Bear Creek facility ADA compliant and was using an ADA professional to accomplish that goal. Back on April 13th, Rachel was told the board would look into this matter and planned to address this. Her questions to you are, has the board looked into this matter? Has it been addressed? If so, how has it been addressed? And why was this not communicated to Rachel? That's
You
it.
still have 3 minutes.
I read quick.
Did you want to say? No? Okay.
You
All
can go.
right.
I went through the whole thing.
Just that was good. I could even understand what you were saying.
I hate public speaking, so.
I don't mind it, I'm just, it's okay.
Okay, great. Well, thank you very much for your comments. So just so that you know, the board, because it's not technically on the agenda, the board doesn't do back and forth with members of the public just because the rules of order say that we don't do that. But thank you very much for sharing that with us. Okay, so moving on, we have approval of the consent agenda, that being items 6 through 8. Is there any public comment relating to the items on the consent agenda? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Most certainly.
Second. All right. Is there any board comment relating to the consent agenda?
So the Capri. Oh, just fine.
So let the record reflect that Director Maltby is present at 7:13. Welcome.
Thank you. Sorry I'm late, guys.
Okay. That's a long drive.
Easy.
You okay?
So the Capri questionnaire, I'm assuming that you're gonna send that back out.
Yeah.
That would be the only thing I would follow. This is something we see every year. And it's the basis for our workers' comp bill, so. And I was, again, the income and expenditures report very, very, very favorable. Again, thank you. You know, really hoping that you know, as we ramp up Bear Creek, that this continues the same motion or trend continues. You know.
Yeah, me too.
Would be really nice. So anyway, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
That's all I got.
Were there any other board comments relating to the consent agenda? We're on board comments relating to the consent agenda.
Thank you.
Okay, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, so now we are on board comments. Did any member of the board have any comments they wish to make at this time? No?
Go ahead.
I do apologize. Thank you for being patient with me. The last couple months have been really difficult on myself and my family with the move and everything. So I apologize for missing a couple board meetings, you know, but I check in and with you guys and with Hallie, and it seems like we haven't burned down any of the facilities yet, which is good. And a budget was passed. Yeah.
Just in the nick of time.
And it's fantastic because that's one of our responsibilities as board members is to pass a budget.
That was a big one too.
Yeah. So I just wanted to say thank you for your patience.
Absolutely. I have a lot of sympathy for moving. I haven't done it in quite a few, 30 years probably now. So
It's pretty. As long as you can get rid of your attachments, it's pretty easy to make the move. But it's like, yeah, just everything was coming down at once. So, yeah. Anyways, thank you.
Thank you.
entirely welcome. I just want you guys to understand, Director Fitzgerald mentioned this, but we wiser heads than mine have in past years slaved us to require that we conduct our meetings by Robert's rules. And Robert's rules are quite specific about what you can and can't do during the course of a meeting. Items that aren't on the agenda really can't be discussed by the board. And it's frustrating, I know, to present something, especially something that you feel heartfelt about, and have people just going, okay, well, now we're on to the next thing. So I just want you to understand, you know, these are, obviously we take all input from the public very seriously, so we have and will take this very seriously as well. So I just want you to make sure that you guys understand.
Yeah,
So-
no, I did understand that. I do appreciate you saying something though, but
Okay.
yeah, that is what I expected would happen. So,
Right. Okay.
thank you though.
All right. That's all I got.
Anything else? You don't have to.
I did, and now it's gone out of my head.
You got another opportunity at the end.
I know.
Write it down.
Oh, I had a quick question about the, oh, we can wait till this can wait.
Okay.
It probably is more appropriate in,
Item 11.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I have nothing at this time, so let's move on to the staff report.
Okay. I don't have a lot tonight as we met a week ago or so.
What do you mean?
It's been
Well,
a
we
busy
just
week.
saw you.
I know.
We just
That's
did this.
Well, I think that was Diane's comment. Didn't we just have a meeting? It's like, yes, we were late on that one. So just to, I know you weren't here for the last one, and we moved our Bear Creek, facility schedule. We're trying different things out there. Some have been more successful than others, and I think I'm getting, a little bit more of an idea of what's going to work for us as a system too. So for the fall pool schedule, we're open Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday. We've extended some of our hours on those days a little bit, and all of them are open to the public and or to members. So it'll be for both of those populations. And I would say, with the hot weekends, obviously that's been a big hit. We had a good weekend this past weekend, and
I've heard no one complain about us buying a pool this summer.
yes, yeah. So that was, not that I would love to have 118 weather all the time, but it's good for business for the pool and gets people out there, which is great. It's really helpful when it happens at the beginning of the month, so you can sell memberships.
Right?
Yes.
So funny.
No, but I'm excited about it. I think, there's an overwhelming amount of projects that need to happen before winter up there, so I've got to really kind of make that our next focus. And we are hiring, like I talked about, the California Conservation Corps is coming out there in November. So we've started, to ship donations up there and different stuff. So we will be hosting a few volunteer days at that location in November, after the crew comes through and gets rid of poison oak and does some of the major upkeep that we need for the grounds. Our Founding Families event has kind of shifted a little bit, and we're doing a little bit more. It's still a sizable donation, but the minimum is going to be a $100 donation per family, and they will get a professional photograph taken of themselves. I think we're thinking of underneath the redwood tree.
Oh, cool.
And then we were going to do a legacy wall, so that this would be noted as an annual event, and that we would, add to this wall as years go by, as families' pictures and such can be posted. So, not sure exactly. I know they had talked about the inside of the space, but I feel like that's not going to really work out with the rentals and use.
Right.
So I'd like to find a space on the property where either we do tiles or something else with the family's picture and name on them. And then, so for that event, I think, if members of the board can attend, that would be great. And I think we're, it's not to, I was talking to them a little bit about how we might perhaps offer some kind of scholarship option as well or something, because I don't want it to just be that the founding family, if you don't have the money and donation support, just how we want to
But
do
this is a
that as
private
well.
event? I mean, because
Yeah.
it's the county pretty much saying we're exercising our right to this space.
Yeah.
What are they doing about food?
What did we decide?
So food, what we've decided is I've found one person that would donate, finger foods, a caterer.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be free, and that then we would do, beer and wine and a food truck up there that people would pay. So they would, that would be a separate donation. All the donations would go through us, so it's going straight into, it's not going to go to the county, so I don't know. I just wanted to clarify that it's, they're helping us fundraise essentially, so
Great.
they,
I'm glad they brought down the.
yeah,
cost
I
of
think
the
it seemed
event.
much more,
And
yep.
is it still Supervisor McPherson who's kind of leading it
I
up?
mean, their office is, it's essentially their idea. I think he wanted to implement an event that we did annually
Mhm.
to help sustain that facility. They're inviting, their VIP list, if you will.
They
I
got
don't
some
know what they're,
roles.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that encouraged us to do so as well. I said, I don't plan to do a large presentation or anything of that nature, but I would greet people
You're not gonna put a show
at
on?
the door, and I have a show prepared. No, it is kind of like a show, I suppose.
Roll out the
Yeah.
toddlers. Come on. They can't resist.
We've been working on some songs. No, we're gonna, have a presentation at the front that's not necessarily like a sit down, here's what we're doing, but a slight ask and a tiered donation visual for people to see what we're really looking for in our larger donor base. And it's something I talk about with people verbally, but I feel like I've had a few people mention the pie graph and like, oh, that helped me understand, just not quite understanding, okay, what are we raising money for? So I'm not thinking anyone's going to write us a $500,000 check at that moment, but I feel like it's time I need to get the ball rolling on some larger donors.
Are we going to make a presentation relating to naming,
Naming,
facility naming? And
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, there's a few people in town that have already
Just
verbally said,
500,000
Yeah.
OBO.
Yeah. Or best offer, please. So if you think of people, it's
Well, the usuals, like you gotta
there
invite
could be the
Bob and
usuals.
Sam
Yeah. I mean,
and
I'd like to
your favorite.
get a few invites out there to people, and
Mhm.
I mentioned it to Mary Beth. They're doing a proclamation for her.
Oh, great.
So that presentation, I asked her if she felt comfortable having that presentation at the party, or if she felt
Who's that for?
for Mary Beth Patterson.
Okay, yes, yeah.
They're going to do a proclamation from the
Great.
county and
That's cool.
present that.
That's very cool.
Yeah. Trying to think of what else came from that. We will have the pool open. We'll have a small auction, the finger foods, and then the rest would be, for purchase type things. So we talked about music a little bit, but I have a feeling we might get a little too, unless we're going to open up a tennis court or do something else to do a music area but it's not a festival, I really want people to participate in so I don't know if people have feelings on that, but I saw it more as like a family picnic, but not that you wouldn't have, music at something like that, but I didn't want it to turn into just,
Well, you just have acoustical music in the background.
yeah.
Right? If you're gonna
But
do
I know,
something like that.
yeah, we've had
It
people
just
saying,
depends
let's,
on where the focus of the.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna have people figure eight in and out of that facility, like
Right.
in the hall as well as out in the pool area,
Right.
then where do you put it?
right. Because
I
we
mean, I would
talked
say
about
either
having
right
a
in front of a hot
music,
tub.
something coming in and setting up on the courts and doing a big, doing a big musical
What
thing. I
time-
just don't
what
know that
time
this
is the
is
event?
that kind
Certainly
of
not
thing.
anything.
It's like 1 to
larger
5.
than
It's
an
not really
acoustic.
long.
1 to 5. Oh, okay.
So it's a 4-hour event.
It's interesting. I will be able to be there for part of it
Okay.
because I have based on my original understanding of the event, I took
Mhm.
I'm playing the Rio that night, so
Okay.
I got
Ooh.
Nice.
I won't be around,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
No,
But
that's
I
great.
will be around in the afternoon. I
Okay.
don't think our load ends till later, so
Okay.
I'll be around for part of it anyway.
Yeah.
What I was going to say is we'll definitely make the $100 donation, and then I was going to say since I can't come, you can use it as scholarship.
Okay.
But I'll be there for part of it, so maybe half scholarship or something. Anyway, we'll figure something
Okay,
out.
that sounds great.
Okay.
Yeah. So that, that's essentially the gist of it. They'd like it to be fairly informal and, what did they say,
Okay.
Boulder Creek style.
All right.
Oh, we can do that.
We can do that.
Casual
So,
elegance.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Put on your wedding shorts.
Right. Wedding shorts.
Right.
The lacy ones.
Your black shorts, right?
Yeah, I guess I'm a little on the fence about the music part, because I just think, that seems like a different event to have.
That's kind of a cocktail hour thing. I mean.
Yeah, right.
So again, from a 1 to 5-er, that is a little different.
Yeah, it's
because
not
you're-
very long, and you're trying to get people to play and interact and hang out,
Right.
But yeah, some ambiance of sorts is great, but I think that if we did a whole stage setup and set up music somewhere, that's gonna be anyway, the wrong flow for
Keep
what
it
we're
simple,
doing, yeah.
right?
Oh, if I can help, let me know.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah. Let's see, we turned off the water at Junction Park again. Just to give you so you're on the in scoop.
Just because the leak
Oh, it's
that's
just-
still happening,
Yeah, we've fixed 2 different
elbows and
I
stuff.
like this pursing this grant opportunity, sorry. It's 2 different locations at the top of the place, so I feel like I would like to push for maybe using some of the monies from our park dedication fund to just do a new pipe straight to the water fountain area, and then do one other one down to the irrigation. And just separate those lines so if we do have problems later, which was the bid we got before, which I'll do again, but we didn't pursue because it just seemed like, gosh, we should be able to manage this, but you witnessed that strange one, and then we've had 3 others that are similar, and I'm like, this is kind of a mess, so I
The
just.
rickety.
Yeah,
And it's all
funky
PVC and-
angles and
Yeah.
weird. It's like somebody was trying to do it without moving too much in the first place.
Mhm.
Right.
And it was,
So-
there's a blueprint that exists for it, but we
There are
found
2,
when we were
and
working down there that it
That
doesn't.
doesn't follow it.
It
yeah.
doesn't follow
No.
the blueprint.
Right.
Yeah,
If you
yeah, I'm
start-
shocked.
I think-
I
I think
was
some were
shocked.
stamped as the final draft, and then that's not what they used.
Right.
And then that wasn't documented.
There was one they gave
like
to
they're
the
like, oh,
county
here's
and
the
then what they
bid.
really did.
Here's what you're gonna do, and then
Yeah.
maybe they just didn't do it. I don't know. I wasn't
You
around.
can fix it
so
5 more times, or you can just replace it, and then you know
Right.
where the pipe is, and it's done
Exactly.
And you
right.
got a warranty.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, photographic.
So I'm gonna
yeah.
anyway. We're gonna move forward on that, and I
Yeah.
was really not wanting to spend the money
Yeah.
on a water pipe, but
Yeah.
for Junction
Well,
Park.
kind of depends on what type of water pipe
I
you're
wanted to
talking
do the
about.
lighting instead.
Are you talking about, sorry.
I'm talking about a massive 6-foot water pipe.
Conduit.
That-
But I
Yeah.
think, I mean, especially after a weekend like we just
I
had,
know,
not
it's like
having water
painful not
down
having
there.
water, I
I mean,
know.
and having, it'd be great if the mister could be back
Yeah,
working
yeah.
again. I mean, it's just such a shame because the park is a really nice
Yeah.
place,
Yeah.
and it is so heavily trafficked.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
it
probably
needs to
has our
up the
most.
ante, I know.
It probably has our most traffic in the summer times
Right.
than all of our other parks, and so.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, that is a good point. So as far as the money goes, I just.
it's
It's
well
worth
worth
it.
it.
It's well
worth
spent
it,
on
yeah.
And people are lighting fires, there needs to be like water.
Yeah. There needs to be water.
Yeah.
They've got to hose them all.
They got a truck they roll down. That's how they pressure wash that graffiti off. Is they
I
roll their
know.
truck down.
I know. I like this idea.
We're gonna have the
because
fire department on call.
We need
Could
like
you hook
a
up to our misters?
green. I think we can get a grant for this, right? You get a green. They put all their water into our tanks.
Mhm.
Get a green flow of the pipe water instead of going
Since
down
they
the
just
road.
every Tuesday night,
And
they
then
just
that's
drain
how we
their hoses
irrigate.
anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go, that's a irrigate, just let it.
Yeah.
It's been cracking my driveway for years, so it's true.
And then the studio space next door, they're not pursuing a grant a grant opportunity with Lagunitas. So it's a $5,000 arts grant through our the foundation's what we're using. It has to be a nonprofit.
That's
And it's
So they're
a
looking to-
grant for.
I mean, they give it out. It's anything that you want to
Is
write
that
to. So
upgrading the
Lagunitas
studio?
is. I don't know what she's specifically writing it as but it's to help fund the antenna. I believe is like the
Oh,
specific
awesome.
part
Cool.
of the
Sweet.
funds. But
Go KBCZ.
Can we ask for a certain small percentage of it to just, they're like an administrative offset the
Yeah, I
cost
didn't-
of running
right.
it? Usually,
I know
Usually
they
they
might be
don't.
able to, but I
Yeah.
don't know if you can or not. I didn't read through the grant process, but
maybe
I
it
think
doesn't
theirs
matter.
is pretty simple. It's not a big,
Yeah.
it's not a state grant, so.
Yay.
Yay. And then If any of you have interest, I guess the date just got changed, but I'm doing a presentation for the Rotary Club, which means it's 7:15 a.m. at Casa Nostra.
A.M.?
Yeah.
On Wednesdays,
They're 1
is
hour.
that?
It's
Before
free,
work?
free breakfast, good food.
Wow.
But it's an hour, we did 20 minutes to half an hour presentation. They would like to get more involved in the community, so I'm trying to put together a package idea for them to help assist our district and volunteers. They have about 20 people that like to do, they do the road, I basically know them from Road Mountain Fair, but they did the roads there.
Mhm.
And they're looking for other volunteer opportunities. They'd obviously love if can share some of the funds between our agencies and stuff like that. So, but for us, it can be hard to find a really solid group to do setup and cleanup and
Right.
security.
Right.
The volunteer positions that are not easy to get people to do and do maybe the way you'd like them to. So I thought, instead, South Street used to be able to kind of provide a little bit of that for us, and now
Mhm.
they're busy with a lot of their fundraising. And so I've been kind of thinking, our staffing is pretty maxed out on what they can do, and so it might be a nice way to
When are
do
you
some
going?
share. It was supposed to be the 13th of September, but they just told me they prefer the following week.
Okay,
So let me know if you have interest.
but that's Wednesday, right? Is
Let me-
it? I think
my
I see the little
phone.
sign up there on Wednesdays.
I thought it
Yes,
was
it's
Wednesday too,
Wednesday
and she
morning.
just mentioned Tuesday, so maybe she
Okay.
said the wrong
I
thing to
think
me.
it's 7:30 Wednesday morning.
Yeah, so maybe they were telling me to come early.
Yeah, the
20th.
13th and the 20th are Wednesdays.
Huh, okay, so I'm wrong then, or maybe she wrote the wrong day, but, yeah, because they mentioned, can you come the 20th or the 27th?
Early birds.
So I know, I was like, I think so, I need to
Think about
find
the kids for making me
childcare.
take her to school that early.
Yeah.
Do they raise and donate money too, or they just want to volunteer?
They have in the past. I think their group is struggling at this point to find ways to make money. Is my understanding of it at this point. But they do an amazing job volunteering, and they're
They
really
do.
Yeah.
they're a solid group. So I think they need to pull in with other groups. But I know they've tried working for a few other things, but it doesn't necessarily bring in any funding. So
What businesses are part of that? Because it's the
Lots.
Rotary Club, right?
yeah.
Is it just Ben Lomond or is it San
No, it's
San
everyone.
Lorenzo
No,
Valley?
I think it's San Lorenzo Valley.
Pretty
right?
much.
Yeah.
And how big is their group, would you say?
I mean, they
Their core
mentioned
group's like
20
15.
to 20 or so.
Yeah, so I'm just wondering, like, who are the major businesses that are
Right.
have?
It's individuals, right?
It is
Business people.
individuals, business people, because the
Business
ones I
people.
know that are part of it
Yeah.
aren't business owners.
Mm.
I mean, they have their business, not, I guess I should say merchants or.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know much about them really. I always
Mm.
see their signs, and I know they're, part
It
of
is
their
a group
mission
of really
is to
well-connected
give.
people, though.
Yeah,
They are.
right,
The one, we used to go to the one over the hill for
The ones that make
camp
things
scholarships all
happen.
the time.
yeah, yeah.
And
I mean, they
Um,
seem like a long-standing aspect of different communities too. You
Yeah.
look around, it's always like, oh, Rotary and Elks Club, and these certain groups tend to always.
Right, Lions,
Yeah.
Rotary, Elks,
Yep.
right, stuff like
Yeah.
that.
So
Do you want somebody to
Makes sense.
present at this? Is that what you're?
they said it can be anything. It's really more get to know us. So I
Right.
was going to give them information about our district,
Right.
what we are.
So
somewhat of a.
would you like to
budget
be a
and a-
part? Would you like to go? I could go with somebody. I could go on my own. Tess and I could tag team them. I mean, we've done that before and it's
Yeah.
worked out pretty well.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't
If-
know if Tess is available.
Okay.
I could probably haul out. No, but if you're planning on making a presentation, we could just haul out anyways and kind
Right.
of be all.
I mean, if your goats need to be fed at
I know. Huh?
7, you're up anyways.
Either way, I was happy to go. I wanted to offer it to you guys because you're good stewards of the district,
Well,
and
I think,
it's nice
it's
to
always
come
a
with
very
someone, in a
cool
way,
presentation to have both you and a board member.
Yeah.
I think that's a cool,
Yeah.
I think that, that presents well, I think.
Yeah, I do
But,
too.
I mean, I don't think it matters that much, so, but
Okay.
I'd be willing to do it,
Okay.
or Tessa, if you'd like to as chair, that would be.
I'll go, you can
Yeah.
go, we'll just both go.
Well,
Let's all go.
Yeah, let's all
I'll
go.
go.
I'm
Okay.
for
It'll be
it.
like
I
a
don't mind
present.
listening to
Band
the
of
spiel.
frickin'
Yeah.
Boulder Accretions coming down to Rotary.
If
That
I can
sounds
get
good.
out of my morning responsibilities, I would like to go just to hear you guys
There's no
give the
board
dog
business
and
going on,
pony.
so it doesn't
The
matter
dog
if
and
we're all
pony.
there.
Pony show.
Um,
Okay, so what's the date?
that one, well, I don't know. They said,
Okay.
can I do the 20th or the 27th? So does one of those work better for,
The 27th is, well, no,
I
the
don't have
20th
my
would be
book with
better.
you, I'm sorry.
20th would be better for me.
Are you trying to get them to sign on to volunteer for the Harvest Festival?
We did talk about that.
Because if it's the 27th, that's 3
Right.
days before.
Right.
That's not a.
No, it's not enough time.
Yeah.
So,
I'm just thinking if that's like one of your.
yeah, no, I'm
main
not too worried about that.
focuses, then.
I could do
20th.
either one of those. I
Okay,
think.
well, let me see what
Okay,
they say and I'll let you know.
all right.
The other group that I forgot to put on here was County Parks, the group that you were working with. They're doing another,
Oh, is it up in our
Meeting?
joint?
and they're gonna do it at Bear Creek.
They are?
Yeah,
I haven't read the materials yet.
Okay.
It's in October, right?
it's October
Yeah.
2nd, I think. Yeah,
It's in my list of
like
things
that's so
to
far
read.
away.
Right?
Is it
Oh,
the
that's
County Parks?
fantastic.
Yeah, it sounds
I guess
like
I better
it's
show
well
up.
Yeah.
doesn't it?
So it, I
Is the
asked
board
them how
meeting
many
up there?
people you
What are they
need.
doing? It's not a big group.
Yeah, I said, how many people are we talking? Because
We're
we don't
talking
have a
like
lot of
7.
seats. And, okay,
8,
yeah.
something like that.
She was like, maybe 20. Okay.
Right, no.
Yeah,
It might be a higher attendance just because people are gonna wanna see it.
yeah.
Because I've talked about it
Okay.
before. I missed their last meeting, but yeah, I
Okay.
saw that other one and I'll
All right.
roll out.
So it's, obviously it's
Don't hold a
nice if
meeting
we
on the
go.
last week of school,
I think
'cause I won't be
you
there.
two, the two of you went to the last one, right? Did you go? You were there, obviously.
Well,
But-
the strategic planning, like steering committee, the, stakeholders,
Mhm.
whatever, we've met about 3 times.
Okay.
I've gone to 2 of them. Then I went to that Highlands thing, but
Right.
that was sort of, a staff
Separate, okay.
presentation.
Yeah, she
So.
just, they wanted a tour and.
Sweet.
Yeah, so I said, I can do that.
Better read those materials, huh?
Yeah.
Maybe I should say, hi, guys, come on up. They're probably like, why are there crickets coming
I
from
know.
Boulder Creek? Thanks for that.
Yeah, right?
Got some sprucing to do.
I know. Yeah, the rest are just events coming up.
So you're thinking about moving it from the library?
We're not going to, we're just too far in with some of the planning that I can't
Gotcha.
pull it this year. There's a number of things that have happened for us internally and then as well as what's happening in that location and just, I think just the expanse of having the 2 locations and not having enough coverage and it's, either we need to get another group involved to get the get the people and the bodies
So you
helping.
are not going to do
We
it
are
there?
going to have it.
You are
Yeah.
going to have it there too?
Yep.
Okay.
You're too
So
deep
this
in it
year,
at this point.
yeah, I
Yeah.
we just can't fit everybody down here without a
That's
road
true.
closure or something else. And
Mhm.
I'm like, I think I say this every year right around now, like, no, we shouldn't do.
And you can't,
all this
you couldn't
and,
accommodate it between here and the junction.
Here, I just think would
Not
be a
to, like,
bust.
yeah,
I
not
did
to,
think
like,
about that. I'm like,
totally-
man, we could just use the rec center, but if we can't have alcohol here, it's
We sell it in the
just,
park.
Yeah.
Do the bands and the booze in the park and then all the vendors at home?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that'll be a hit.
That's
Screw those
right.
guys.
Oh man, yeah. So that's yeah. It's partially just having enough coverage for 2 locations of volunteers and
It's
and
a-
everyone's a bit tired it seems. So having a little harder time getting people to. I think there's just a lot going on. There's a lot more events, a lot more people. I'm not sure. I don't know what the tone is, but I don't think it's just me. I'm just noticing that people are not maybe committing as much to these things, and I don't know.
Things going.
Maybe it's just the group I've had is starting to
ebb and
transition.
flow. Right.
We've had a good crew, staff, and volunteers, and I think maybe it's just some of that's changing. So
It happens.
I've got to work to get
It
a
is
new
good
group
to
going,
have like,
you know?
I mean, your whole idea of having it kind of close to the town core is
Yeah.
a great idea, but it's, without having the buy-in from the businesses
Right.
to really incorporate Highway 9,
Mhm.
anything on Highway 9, it's difficult. But I think you're right, like having it spread out so much is kind of,
Yeah.
it's
a
tough
bit
if
hard
you don't
on our
have
crew.
the hay rides connecting them.
Yeah. I think they're gonna make a debut.
Nice. We'll see.
If you happen to
that's
be
it.
there, it will be the world premiere of a band called Swamp House, which has a 5-piece brass section.
Ooh.
So,
Wow.
yeah, so we'll
Wow.
see how it actually, we'll see if this actually
Nice.
happens.
That's pretty awesome.
Wonderful.
This is like herding brass musicians is like herding cats.
It's almost as bad as drummers.
Oh, yeah, right. That's right. At least we only need one drummer.
That's right.
You know, it would be, I know that these things are always really hard to do because it's trying to convince various people of other things, but it would be worthwhile to maybe in the future talk about folding an event like the Chili Cook-Off into the Harvest Festival.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
Because you
Yeah, I
have,
think so too. Yeah.
that's a really small event, and
Yeah.
I know last year they sort of were minimally,
Yeah.
participants and whatnot,
Mhm.
and that's just such a mutually beneficial thing.
Mhm. Yeah.
For them, because we have the, more crowds, and that brings more allure for people to want to come and show
Mhm.
off their chili and
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. That's-
Yeah, very true.
So, is the water fountain in here not working?
Yes.
Do we have to just get a new one?
No, we already got a new one.
What the heck?
The plastic parts inside of these things
Are just crap, or
Yes,
what? Do
keep
people
breaking.
abuse it, or is it just
I
how
don't
you
think it's
use it?
abused. I just think they're not. I'm not
Can't we get an
spending
old-fashioned one that's like in the
$8,000
park
on one. I'm
that's like
spending
a frickin' pipe with a bowl? Like-
Yeah, forget the refrigeration.
The parts were
and just-
definitely. We revamped our ones up at Garahan because we're just tired of fixing them.
Right.
The one outside here, we're planning the same thing where you just do a pipe. You don't use the fixings that come in it. You
Yeah.
just
Can't we
re-hardwire
just do that here? Who
the
cares
briquette.
about refrigeration? I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, we have that great SLV water.
You're not supposed to drink water that cold anyway. It's not good for your digestion.
It'll make you sick if you
Okay,
can
we'll put that
exercise
on
in
there.
I don't know. It just is a shame because I know
It is
that
a shame. Yes.
people probably care less about the temperature than the
Yeah.
accessibility of it.
I sure do see it being used a lot
Yeah.
during jazzercise and
Mhm.
And we've replaced that thing like frickin' 4 times since I've been. I know it's been forever.
Change it out and put it one of those water filling stations.
Oh, I know.
Those are great.
I know,
They
I saw
are.
those at the.
That's a really good idea.
They have it at the climbing gym.
Mhm.
Why not?
They have
Put a
it
water
should look
bottle
at
in
that.
airport.
Yeah, they're
Comes
expensive,
in
but
from
I
the
don't
top.
know.
More than a new fountain every 2 years.
Exactly, yes. I was saying they have it.
Yeah, I-
You should talk
But
to
you'd
the
have to have
water
some
guys.
component.
After you
You'd
take
have
your
to
water
have some
bottle, then you
component
fill
of
your water bottle.
non, where you could drink out of it without
Right,
having
without
the
having-
water bottle. Yeah.
Aw, come on.
Yeah.
It's Boulder Creek.
I know. We had the cups out for a while with a jug of water.
Hmm.
It wasn't so hard when we didn't have the program back, and now that the kids are back, I'm like, okay, we gotta get a water fountain.
Right?
Yeah, old school stuff is certainly, I don't know, seemingly a better fit for us, because, yeah, the post, like Highlands, like all their water fountains is a 4x4
Right.
with a pipe, and the,
Yeah.
yeah.
Analog.
That's all it is, yep. A pit of gravel, and,
Mhm.
yeah. But they're there. I mean, they've been there for
Right.
Yeah, that thing just
30
is
years
a valve.
more. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Good request.
A
Noted.
safety dab, I do
Noted.
there. A spigot. Okay, so let's move on to, thank you,
Thank you.
our regular agenda.
So there's a couple other events here. So
Oh, yeah, you weren't here.
the murder mystery.
We were
Awesome,
having it
sounds
on
cool.
October 28th, but then the Witches Ball is happening that day.
Is the witch's ball up above?
It's Oddfellows,
okay.
yeah. I just found out about that one, so
So you're gonna move.
we're gonna
that?
switch it into November because I think people. It's like a dinner party. Is still a nice time.
Yeah.
It's not exactly costumes, but you can get dressed up anytime.
Cool. And then you'll have the porta potties at Junction until November.
November, yes.
November.
After Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
No, I'm sorry, Halloween.
After
That's what I'm trying
Halloween,
to
you'll
say,
start
yeah.
pulling them out. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Good.
Is there a way to think about moving at least one of them behind that rock wall? I know that
Yeah.
there was problems in the past with people like going in there and abusing them or abusing themselves in
Mhm.
there. They're gonna do it regardless,
Mhm.
and I just think that rock, being a neighbor down there,
Mhm.
it just is such an eyesore
Yeah.
of that, and then God, they stink so bad sometimes. But
Mhm.
but I don't know. I mean, we have that rock wall there. Can we at least maybe think about putting one of them behind there just to kind of
Yeah.
take advantage of that space, because then
Doesn't the
then
security camera show?
Yeah,
Go to
it
that
shows
angle?
both the angles, yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
and it also
Which is
would
working
reduce. It also would reduce activity behind that rock wall,
mhm,
because people post up and smoke a ton of pot and
mhm,
drink and stuff like that, and it offers a perfect cover.
right.
So I don't know. Just I think it would just kind of make enhance the features
Do you
of the
think
park
that
a
it
little
would
bit
be
better.
helpful if we locked the porta potties at night?
We did try that 2 years ago.
Didn't work.
And, I mean, you know, all of them have been, haven't told them yet, but, you know, I mean, we may or may not be able to get an account
Right.
because they keep getting vandalized.
Still?
Yeah, but there's 2 new holes in there, so I've just been covering
Somebody
them with.
put holes in there again.
Yeah, and
Did
out
you
at
check the
Garaham.
tape?
It was before that. So I didn't switch them out. I mean, I have not switched them out. It's from the inside.
Mhm.
Is it the same
they're
way they're
drilling
doing
through-
it,
yes.
where they're with some sort of a torch or something?
Yeah, yeah. So, you know, I
Man, these people.
don't know if we're at a point of, I don't know.
Where we're not. I mean, it's like one or
We
two
have to have
people
restroom
are going to
options,
spoil for everybody. It's so
I mean,
ridiculous.
I don't know, I thought of looking into like, okay, what does it look like for us to get something that's more hardcore than the plastic porta potty? Like, what else is out there?
They have a
you
metal
know?
one?
I know. Like, I haven't
Do they
researched
make
that. I'm
metal
like,
ones?
I don't know.
I don't
Can
know.
we make our own? You know?
It just kills me because
It's
they
like-
used to have a frickin' bathroom down there.
Right. I know.
Back in the day. So, you know, the upside to that is there's probably a sewage line out there.
The reason that got taken out is somebody
same-
set off an explosive charge in it.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it isn't, even an official bathroom is not
Well,
exempt from
right.
this kind of damage.
No,
either.
it's not. And I don't think I mean, I've thought, are we at the point where we need to have, like, part of the time, have park attendants?
Part of
You
the
know,
cir-
park attendants, like,
Well,
do we
used
need to get to
have
that point
first
of?
alarm. I mean, they
yeah,
yeah.
they didn't do anything though.
I
It
know.
was such a waste of money.
Was it?
Yeah, they didn't do anything. Their presence down there wasn't
Right.
helpful.
Yeah, that was a lot of money.
I mean, you know, if it were inside and the park got locked, like, would that help? Like, I have no idea if this is happening during the day. I mean, there's a number of issues, you know, it's heavily used.
Mhm.
I wouldn't, I'm not even gonna say I'd blame it on any particular group, some of what's going on down there. I mean, I know, you know, the homeless population gets blamed for a lot of stuff, but it's
It doesn't
it's
make
not
sense
even
that
just
the homeless
them.
population would be
just different, it's different characters.
doing that.
When I went and
for
talked to
something that's a
Yeah.
resource
The
to
normal
them.
crew down there is not the
regulars,
problem.
Yeah,
Right,
they're the
yeah.
ones that are like, we don't want to lose this. We
Right.
you know, we get on people, and they do. I see them
Yeah,
get on
I do
people that
too.
are aggravated and stuff.
Um,
So who knows what?
so I
It
don't
sounds
know,
to me like
you know.
some young asshole.
Yeah, right. So, yeah, I thought, oh
So you
gosh,
think
are we
it's
at
a
a point of
torch?
being able to, it's
It
gotta be
seems
something,
like
it's
it.
kind of a melted type,
If you look at the
Yeah.
the cut,
But it's not burnt.
like it's not like a sawzall or anything like
Right.
that. It's definitely a smooth cut.
Like an arc welder type thing, maybe, or
It's a vape pen.
I was
don't
thinking a
know.
vape pen is what I thought, but
do they do that?
I don't know.
Oh,
No.
interesting.
They
Yeah.
have a big battery charge in there, so.
Huh.
But certainly something metal, I thought about like, oh, what if you put corrugated metal on the insides of them? I don't know, you know, and then I'm just sitting there thinking this is
That's
like,
pretty funny.
That would be,
you know,
that'd
like,
be kinda
or
cool.
build something, I don't know.
I wonder if the
shields.
company would say they couldn't keep it sanitary.
Right.
I don't
And
know. I
those
don't know.
Parks and Rec magazines that we get where they're selling a lot of product, we should just kind of, I know that you've
Vape-proof
looked
porta
at,
potty.
Right.
you know, just to see what is
Well, I wonder,
affordable
you know,
but
if
durable.
you had a, if you did have a restroom that was,
I'm gonna bitch
had
about that on social
concrete,
media. You know
Yeah.
that.
or, you know,
I'm
was a
just letting you all
concrete
know.
basin, and then had some metal structure around, like something we built, basically.
Mhm.
And then a company pumped it out, like if that part of it,
Right, like they do by, near rivers, they have a big
Yeah.
tank that only has to be pumped out once every so often. It's a pseudo septic tank, but not
Right.
really.
There's a name for that, I can't remember.
anyway,
what it
that
is.
seems worth
it's
it
a
to
vault.
me to
It's
look
a vault.
into.
Vault,
It's
that's
just
right, right. Like
what
they've
that
got
would look
up
like
on
to have something that's
Highway 9,
Yeah.
up at the Scout Reservation.
Yeah, a lot of river.
that
you get out of the river and
hardcore,
camp.
you know, like
Because
really
right by the
stalls
water,
of
you
like,
can't-
Exactly.
Wouldn't it
Yeah.
be great to have some kind of like smoke alarm where it heat detects and then sets off a foghorn? Could you imagine a foghorn in a porta potty?
I didn't think
Sorry.
about that,
Yeah,
smoke
can you imagine
detectors in
living
there.
next to that?
Right.
Oh. That's an interesting thought.
Because it's got to generate smoke if they're melting stuff.
Yeah.
You know, you would think there would be a whole technology.
There
Right.
has to be. We can't be the
Well,
only
but
sad.
I would see it.
No, but I
adver-
think this is, I mean, it's on 3 of the like articles and magazines that like this is a problem people are having. It's a lot more vandalism, a lot more, I mean, like we're
Right.
talking about with our
But-
insurance is like, this is not just us, like we're,
Right,
you know.
but at the same time, in those magazines, I don't see a ton of ads for
No,
for
for-
the resistant technology.
Maybe
You
we
know
should
what
have
I
a
mean?
contest. A community-wide contest.
We need to invent it.
There you go. Maybe if we did a community-wide contest,
A Kickstarter.
we put an article in the paper, maybe whoever this is will just feel the shame.
Right. No, I'm
Yeah,
more
I mean,
into, like,
right, sometimes
hometown
that works kind of
vigilante.
like, oh, we're going, this is what we're going through. And,
Yeah, like if people knew this was how we were spending our time, like,
I mean,
Oh,
the
they're
process
gonna
is
know.
their
When I
money.
go home, I'm gonna
I
be like,
know.
let me tell you something.
Right. But when you follow the post, then
This is
everyone's
credit
like,
strikes again.
they start blaming people, and I'm like, well, that's not
Mhm.
helpful. You know, it's like,
Because I don't think it's the.
Yeah.
I
I know.
know a lot of our local
Yes,
homeless
yes.
folks.
They don't
Yeah.
want us to get rid of the toilet.
Right.
You know, that's not who is doing it.
so
It's true.
anyway, I'm just worried, you know, we've lost one account, and,
Sucks.
We lost a really good one too.
Yeah,
They were
right.
awesome. They
It's
cleaned them
worth
really
looking
nice.
Yeah.
into whether we could
yeah, that's
put
the
a-
first time I have had them actually like clean
put
them.
it all down there.
Yeah.
Just some
As
kind of
opposed to just
regulation.
spraying them.
Just like, yeah, or sometimes not even that, I don't
Yeah,
think
we
so.
need
Yeah.
to build a metal something.
Um,
But they're beautiful next to rivers, because I have
Right.
seen them on
Oh,
river
yeah.
trips.
Yeah, I have too.
And they're way better for the environment because they don't use all that blue chemical.
Mhm.
They have some sort of bacterial
Lime.
thing going on in there
Or,
that's
no,
similar
it's,
to a septic
there's
tank.
nothing going on in there. They just dump everything in there and pump it out every once in a while, and you can tell by the way it smells, you know.
Some
But it would be a
probiotics.
If you put
I mean, if you
probiotics,
would've, that, you know, like up on Highway 9 up north of town.
Right.
You know, it's just a hole in the, it's
Yeah.
a sealed hole in there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
like a pit privy, but it's
Yeah.
all made out of
Right.
concrete. You know?
Right.
But
I think
if-
the concrete part is what's interesting.
but if you get some of
Right.
the,
Yeah.
You
some
had
of,
me in concrete.
You had me in
beneficial
concrete.
microorganisms like you use in
Right.
organic ag and you dump it down
Right.
there, you
Right.
can get so much less smell and so much
Right.
more life out of it.
Right.
We'll just bring our peat moss and.
Isn't it like if you throw a chicken down there or something? Gotta get out that old 70s septic maintenance.
Oh, I gotta tell you about Tibet, but not in a public meeting. I gotta tell you how it works in Tibet.
Oh my goodness.
All right.
All right. Anything
All right.
else?
Concluded.
That makes me mad.
I have one question
I'll
about-
be squeaking about it.
I got it slightly back to Bear Creek, but quickly. You were talking about doing when you stopped selling pool memberships, of doing sort of like a weight room / jacuzzi. Are you
Yes.
still thinking about doing that?
We are.
I know
November
somebody who will
is-
sign up for it.
I have
Yeah.
people already wanting to sign
Okay.
up for this.
Right.
So
What
when
I'm
does it
trying to
happen?
work on is something I don't have to keep changing all seasonally, but summer and winter, which would include fall and, you know, just when the pool's open and not open essentially, like,
Right.
and I'd like to have enough offerings that offset.
Can we
The
lease
cost.
like good equipment instead of having to buy it? You know, like an elliptical. Is there a lease
Yeah, I
option
mean,
for that?
there's people offering to donate. I think once we, you know, get this
Everybody wants to
going
get
a
rid
little
of their
bit,
coat
right?
hangers.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly, right.
That we'll have, you know, some fairly decent equipment. I mean, you
It's like a
know.
rowing machine and an elliptical
Yeah.
and a treadmill, and you're in there
Right.
in front, bunch of free weights.
Yeah, I mean, I'm picturing like a hotel gym, you
Yeah.
know, like that kind of
Totally.
size.
Yeah.
Just,
Right.
you know, enough for some people. I mean, the free weights is what a lot of people are really asking about. They
People are
just want the
excited about the free
space
Mhm.
to
Yeah.
do that with people. Like, I think that's really the.
Yeah, totally.
You know,
Did that
the
SLB
environment.
gym get sold, or
It was for sale. They still have a page.
because if they don't sell it, maybe we could get them to donate.
Yeah,
their
I
government
did
tax
ask
break
them.
on that.
Yeah,
I think it did. I think that there is a new owner in there.
yeah, there
Oh,
is.
okay.
Yeah.
Is it Sean McLean?
It's somebody I don't know.
Sean
so.
McLean?
Well, I know he's a very active member of
Yeah.
that group for that gym on Facebook. They
Oh,
have a
wow.
little.
Mhm.
He's this younger guy that went to SLB.
But yes, there's a lot of
Oh, maybe
interest
it's
in
a different
that.
Sean McLean.
We had someone come up and who does gym. What do you call it?
Design.
Not
No?
design, but circuit training. You know, they
Oh,
manage
trainer.
cross trainer, and he manages like how to set up circuit training within gyms.
Oh, sweet.
So we had kind of a short-term concept on how to do some stuff with what we have now, And then, you know, the idea of putting that metal structure
Have
up
you
for our
looked at the fire
gym.
departments?
Mm-mm.
They have a gym there.
I know, I heard.
They keep telling me I can use it, but I'm like,
Yeah.
right.
I know.
Right.
No, I haven't
So,
looked at that.
apropos of the staff report, I had a situation when somebody came up to me the other day. It was actually a person who's doing Jody's care for her, and said, "So I took my kid out to this new pool that they've got going on Bear Creek Road. Do you know about this place? It's pretty incredible." So I went out there, had a great time. I said, "Oh yeah, so we know about it. I know about it. Thank you." You know, but she was so stoked to have
Yeah.
found it. You know, so her son's about 8, and they just had a great time.
Good.
And they're
That's
planning
great.
on using it a lot. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
It was awesome. We were there 10 days ago, not this last weekend, but
Yeah.
the weekend before, and there's so many people there,
Yeah.
and we were all in the pool, parents, kids, everybody. I mean, it was so fantastic to see. And then just a line for the
I know,
diving
that is
board,
cracking me up.
and just it's so
All ages, you know.
It's so awesome.
I
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
that we're able to employ teenagers
Yeah.
from
Mhm.
here. I mean, that's fantastic, because that was something that we hoped for, and it's a
Mhm.
great way to do resume building when you're a
Mhm.
knucklehead kid.
I'm glad the county didn't end up providing
Me
that.
too.
I'm glad those guys
Yeah.
are coming out of,
Yeah.
all out of Kurt's program, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's
I would
great.
have to, I had a great conversation with Kurt the other day, and, you know, we are, he sees us as benefiting this, you know, two different groups really.
Mhm.
Because, you know
Yeah.
how parochial everybody is up here, like, oh my God, all the way to Boulder Creek.
Right. I know.
It's like a big old trek down to Felton to Safeway, right?
Yeah.
So we really serve both ends
Yeah.
of the valley, and
No, I've heard that too. And the
We
why,
don't-
I
we don't compete because
No.
we can't compete with our cost point,
Right.
and he can't compete with our event space.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, it was.
Yeah, it's different, so.
Yeah.
And it's
And
nice
he
to have
didn't
those
once
options.
mention us poaching his staff.
Well, and I
didn't bring it
did
up.
write to him and said, I hope I know we're using a lot of the same people, and I really appreciate all your help. And
Yeah.
he's like, oh, I'm so excited. So I don't think there's
There's
any
more
feelings
coming
of,
up. Those water polo teams,
Yeah.
swim teams are
Right.
so big,
Yeah,
it's not gonna be a problem.
and they just have a larger pool to pull from over there. Too. You know, just
So to speak.
yes. So, haha.
Anything
All right,
else?
that's all I have.
Okay, so let's move on to, we don't have any unfinished business, so let's move on to new business. Item number 12 is action discussion, discuss indemnification of Bear Creek Park Estates, the BCPE property that is located across San Lorenzo River at Junction Park.
So I don't have a pulled a map to show you, but this was fairly informal so far. I just wanted to kind of get the ball rolling
It's
on
the
a
rope
discussion. It's the rope swing and it's the rocks.
Okay.
Oh, the rocks.
So
too.
they have a new that whole Bear Creek Estates, it's called.
Another one.
Another one, I know, I thought interesting, is managed by an agency who is, I guess, just started maybe this last month or last 2 months, and was looking over all of their paperwork and had said, hey, look, you know, this is a potential problem for you guys. You might want to think about looking into. And so they looked at just gifting us the land,
Mhm.
which is not easy because it's not a parcel in and of itself.
Right.
So then you're looking at lot line adjustments and things of that
Yeah.
nature. And I said, you know, I don't think any of us are interested in that. I said, well, it seems to me the two options would be, it could be your responsibility to post no trespassing signs. It is your land. I can promise you that they will be pulled off and gone. All of our signs are.
Mhm.
But you could either try to keep that going. I said I could do the same on our side. I said, they said we really don't want to stop people from,
Yeah.
participate. That's been a long time thing in Boulder Creek,
Recreating.
and yeah. And so I said, well,
We've got
there's the
historical
possibility
pictures.
if that would work for you guys that either they could draw up something or we could.
Mhm.
Obviously, I'd like to push for them to draw it up, and then we just have our
Right.
council approve it.
Yeah.
Or if we share that cost or something, I don't know. But it seems to me like they have the concern.
Could we do an easement
That's an interesting thought.
and then take responsibility for recreational activity within the easement?
They would probably still want to be
They
indemnified.
still want to be indemnified, right?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I have a question about have we ever like officially in any capacity taken responsibility for the people who jump off the rocks?
No.
Because
No.
by doing this, I mean, I don't know, but I think we should ask the lawyer, like,
Right.
by putting it in writing, are we all of the sudden going from swim at your own risk to like,
We're assuming
sure, sue us
liability.
if you
Oh, that's
hit
a
your
good
head on
point.
a rock?
Well, no, because it's still the same. I don't think, but it's still the same. We're still not creating this swimming space. We're not offering it as an option for swimming per se. It's there, and we're not keeping people out of it. But the line, for at least from our insurance standpoint, is that if it's not man-made, we don't hold the responsibility there.
So
And
do
it
we-
says swim at your own risk.
So then are we able to indemnify them?
But it
It's
could
like
be,
a-
let's just say it's not even jumping off a rock. Say someone's just over there and they break their ankle, or, even if
Right.
it's not the activity that they're participating in. Because I said, there's no way you're going to keep, they said, well, maybe we could put up fencing or something. And I'm like, it's,
Oh my
like,
God.
there's
could
no
you
way. I'm like,
imagine?
Can you
yeah.
imagine? Everyone would think we did it too.
Right.
Oh, no, because I'd be like, it was me.
Right.
Don't set my car on fire in the Johnny's parking lot.
Yeah, I mean, because we did talk about I've had, I don't know, jokes about like, oh, there's some mural up on the rocks that's like, don't jump above here or something. But then I thought, well, but then you're saying you can jump
can't
below
jump
here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right,
Exactly.
right.
So,
Yeah, that's a hard one. I mean, that's such a tradition.
yeah.
It's just been going on forever.
Well, we know that we can't stop it. So what can we do to protect ourselves and them? It seems
I mean, I don't
like-
think we're necessarily taking on more liability. Like, if someone came to our park, they're going to come, and something happened.
Mhm.
I
But
don't
the
think they're
thing-
going to be like, well, I was actually on this other property. I mean, I'm assuming
They have a problem.
they have a problem. Yeah.
And the
Right.
thing is that because if something happened to somebody, and any lawyer would look at the map and see who owns the place, they would sue the owners of the property no matter where
Right.
they came
And if
from.
we signed a document that said that somehow we indemnified them, then we would be a party to the action.
Yeah.
Well,
Because
we-
we had a title thing kind of cloud.
Mm-hmm.
This is one for the lawyers.
That is a good one. I mean, that one, I know you're just like,
No, it's not.
don't make me pay. But it's a problem for them, really.
It's really a problem for them, but I was hoping to find a good neighborly option because we really hold it's a community issue really
Yes.
because it holds them it puts them in a hard position.
And we provide the parking
but if-
lot
And we
and the
provide a
access to the
park right
cliff and
across,
all that
So
stuff.
and-
if
yeah.
we were to, let's say we were to indemnify them,
Yeah.
it would not stop anybody from suing them.
No, it wouldn't.
Right. What it
But
would
there's
say would be
something-
that our insurance company
We
would
acknowledge that we'll be responsible for
would
that first
handle
line
their
of
defense,
defense.
basically.
Yeah.
Our insurance company would handle
Can you
their
imagine what
defense.
our insurance company would think about that?
Right.
And that we wouldn't hold the property owners liable
Well,
either.
we ourselves would not hold,
Right.
hold the
The
property
individual
owners
could
liable.
do
The
it.
individual, that's
anything
what
they
I'm
want.
saying, is
Yeah.
like us
Right.
as a recreation district.
So I it would be interesting.
Which already, I
that
was
mean
not
that-
under the impression that wasn't already true.
That what
I was not, it was my impression that was already how it was. That if someone hurt themselves down there,
They're going to go
Or
after
they're gonna
everybody.
go after
They're
us.
after everybody.
I was not aware that property belonged to, I knew it wasn't ours, I just didn't know it
Right.
belonged to them, right
Right.
there, that group of people.
But does an indemnification automatically mean that our insurance is the first line of defense? I don't know that
I'm
that's the
hazy on
case.
this, but I think what it means is that our insurance would defend, the lawyers that
I
would
think
defend would be working for
I
our
think it all
insurance
depends on how the indemnification agreement is
It's
written up.
Uh-huh.
Can I ask,
So we shouldn't
Mhm.
speculate on it until we
Yeah.
get some sort of,
company. I'm hazy.
I
Okay.
think that
Well, I
what
started
you're
with the
saying-
insurance because we already pay them and trying to get some clarification on what the steps are and what that looks like. And then I think
And
once
they're
we have
saying
an
that if
idea.
it's
of-
natural, not man-made, if it's a
That's every site
natural
visit we've ever
thing-
done. They just said as long as, you're got your signs up. There's never been concern about that
Yeah.
down there.
okay.
They said, this is a natural occurring swimming hole.
So do our insurance rates that we pay,
Mm-hmm.
it already
Yes.
account for the fact that people are jumping off those rocks and into the water?
Yeah, we're
Like our
covered.
rates are not gonna skyrocket
No,
because
no,
we're
not
already
at
paying
all.
rates.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Even, you know, our rates didn't actually technically increase due to even buying Bear Creek.
Right.
We got some Swedish.
So
It's-
you know, I
it's
mean,
a-
it did go up a lot this year, but not specifically because of that.
When we put the
Swimming
skate
pool?
park in over at
Right.
freaking Gary.
It's a pooled risk insurance, so
Okay.
there,
Yeah.
it's all of the recreation.
So we all lose
districts.
when every
So
district
then we can
loses
move
and we
forward
all
with the
gain
pump
when,
track.
yeah.
With the
The pump track.
They didn't
Okay.
bat an eye with the stinking half pipe, man. I
Right.
thought for
Right.
sure they were just gonna be
No,
like,
it's-
"Rah,"
Yeah.
but
Yeah, no, the nature of how that goes
Yeah.
is not a,
I like your suggestion of having them, the Bear Creek Park Estates, draft something up,
present
it
that,
to us,
yeah.
and then we'll go from there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
'cause we're
no
kinda doing
need.
them a
There's no need
solid
to
if
like.
we
right,
do
I know.
something like
And I
that.
thought, I'm like,
Speculate
man,
on
I
everything.
do get it, they're in a hard position because,
We don't need to take
It's-
any proactive steps at this point because
Yeah.
we got the clearance from our insurance company. People are already using it, and I think that we just go along with the normal course of business
Mm-hmm.
until they present something to us. And I would be completely willing to review something if it looks favorable for both. I
Mhm.
would say yes because they are, you know, in good faith. They're neighbors.
Sure.
They've been sharing this, but they've been
Absolutely.
allowing people to be on this property.
yeah, I would not
So.
wanna have that be inaccessible.
Yeah.
no, I'm like,
That would
that's
be
not how
bad.
this is
That would be
go.
really
Yeah,
bad.
that'd be real bad.
And I guarantee you that past boards like didn't sit here and say, well, it's not our problem, it's on the other side of the river. You know, I think everyone's
Mhm.
had that notion that that was part of our liability.
But our property goes to the center line of the river most likely.
It does, but I just think that, I don't know that, I don't think that action of people going across there is ever, I don't know, has it come to the board before?
I
mean,
don't
know-
ever remember
yeah.
discussing it before, no.
The only
Fortunately,
thing,
we
I mean, I
haven't
know it
had
came
any
up
of
with the
this.
dam because we talked about liability there. It was like,
Right.
well,
Right,
you can't
Mhm.
own something but not share responsibility of liability.
right,
That seems, you know, not fair, but obviously the state feels otherwise, so.
right.
Anyway,
Okay, well, it's the
Alright.
neighborly thing to do. This is not the issue that I thought we were.
I know, I'm
talking-
sorry, it looks like the other place, but,
It did, I was like, what are they talking about?
Me too, I thought we were
well,
talking about all those neighbors up on.
no, this is.
Parking, what?
No.
Because there was
Septic?
the phone call that I got was not from these guys. This
Oh,
is, there's
okay.
another, the property over here across the river, it used to be called Evans Rest on the river, and now it's a bunch of cabins, and they've
Over
all
here.
got names like Deer Park and stuff like that.
Oh, where people
Right,
walk
right across the creek here.
Yeah.
Where that
And
beach is.
they had called, one of the people from there called me asking for whoever was scheduling the events at the junction.
Oh, okay,
And they were concerned about,
Oh.
I think they were concerned about noise and,
Uh-huh.
and activity at the junction. Because they're right
right,
across the river.
Okay.
So that's what I thought we were talking about, so,
okay.
sorry, I
And-
misunderstood.
Well, on these busy weekends, people are crossing there and setting up, I've seen people with their chairs out
Yeah.
there and they're like
On the beach.
on
that
the
little,
opposite beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, that little wedge.
Sort of
the beach.
islandy thing, and even beyond that.
They used to have a sign there that
They
said private
did.
property, but it's been gone for
I'm
a long
sure
time.
somebody took
Yeah.
it away.
No. After they finished vaping our bathrooms, they went over and stole the neighbor's signs.
I mean, it brings up a good point, though. We don't necessarily have a limit on how many, we've never promised that park space, like, how often are we gonna have, you know, people are starting to rent it fairly regularly now for kind of big parties, more than I was expecting.
Jack up the rental fees.
And are they
Yeah.
having, but are they having music? at this-
Yes,
We
Okay.
allow amplified music?
We did.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to look at
That might
I
be
know.
something to consider
right.
as a neighborly
Right.
'Cause
gesture.
people are throwing
I mean, I would kinda tell 'em,
retirement
you know.
parties with multiple bands.
Yeah.
Oh, see, that is a little rough.
Yeah.
Like,
It
I
is,
would
and I
think
didn't
for
quite realize that
rec
until,
events, it's kinda
yeah.
like, come on, man, we
Right.
do this like 4
I
times a year.
had no idea it was happening, and I was like, oh, wow, there's a big festival.
Yeah, that was huge
happening,
compared to what I,
going
yeah,
on.
thought was
What's up?
happening.
We get a maximum
Huh.
number of guests and no amplified music.
I really
'Cause
don't
typically at
think
county
they
parks
should
you
be
get-
amplifying music down
Yeah.
there unless it's
No.
our event.
Unless it's
Right.
us.
Yeah.
We're enough. We're what, 3-4 times a year.
Uh-huh.
I don't think that
So,
we should make that decision. I
and-
think
and-
that should go to staff, you know, because like it all depends. I mean,
It would be part of the policy, well,
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
Well,
we don't need to
typically,
sit
yeah,
here
the
and-
sound or, it's hard because when you go to county parks,
They
you have
have
to
the-
get a sound permit
Mhm.
for amplified music. We don't have them here for events because we're not the city.
Anticipating people are gonna have big old amplified bands down in Junction.
Yeah,
That's not good.
It used to be in our policy manual that we were the only people who were authorized to have amplified music down there.
It probably still is.
It's probably
because
still in there,
We,
then.
when we did that big old rehaul of that
Right.
thing, we never discussed that.
Right. So that might still be in there. So if that would.
what about people playing music through speakers for their party? Is that considered amplified music?
Yeah. Well.
You know, like your boombox?
Yeah, come on. I mean,
Yeah, that's gonna get, I mean, people are already just doing that on a weekend, like when they're down there.
I
Totally.
know, it's
Hanging
so
out.
annoying.
See, I don't.
And the problem is we have no way, like, we don't have secure, there's no way for me to,
Right.
so some, obviously the rentals, there can be a clear stipulation of what you can and can't do. Often people do
I
some of
don't
them.
know that we can control that as well with individuals just using the park on a walk-in basis.
Right.
We could definitely control it with our rentals.
Well,
Right.
You can definitely have the no amplified music rule. I mean, that's
Absolutely.
a state, you can definitely have one. Which means no boom boxes and stuff like that.
It's pretty common when you rent places for them to.
It's such a small frickin' park. It
Uh-huh.
would seem really intrusive to the people around you, especially when it's packed if you're rocking your Black Sabbath in the middle of the swimming hole.
Well, I know there's one scheduled for this weekend.
Oh, a big old party?
Mm-hmm.
How big?
he wanted our band to play,
Right.
but we're out of
Oh.
town this weekend.
So he's gonna have live music?
Mm-hmm.
We had one a month ago,
Right.
and he's already got it scheduled, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't take it away for right now,
You really need
but
to
So
get on
maybe
that.
you
I
better
just
call
think,
Farmer
yeah,
that
I
and
need
warn
to
'em.
stop booking.
Well, they were gonna call Hallie and get the schedule.
Okay.
And I also I said it might be on the website as well.
Mhm.
You
Yeah,
know,
the party rental, it's hard for people, the Google calendar's so hard to look through,
Right, okay.
But the party rentals are on them, but it's, yeah.
Well, this
It
is.
doesn't stipulate, okay, band playing for, because I don't know what people are doing for the rental.
We
but-
need
Yeah.
to make sure we exert as much care for the neighbors around
Yeah.
Junction as we do for the
Yeah.
Bear Creek
Yeah,
Estates
for sure.
people.
Right.
Well,
And we wouldn't really let
To
people
our
do that.
benefit, this hasn't been a problem
Right.
up until now.
Up until
This
now.
has not been a
But
But if you
problem.
go to one of those parties, then you realize, oh my
Yeah, I
gosh,
could
what a
do
great
this.
place to have a big party.
Yeah.
Totally. But, so, I mean, yeah, moving forward, if we are concerned about it, especially with the fact that we are putting our own sponsored events down there multiple times a year. you
Or we
know,
could offer it, but
how
have it
much
be
of it-
strictly limited so it's not disturbing the peace of the neighborhood.
Mhm.
And
like-
who's gonna make that determination, and are we gonna have a paid staff member come go down there and make that determination?
Well, it would just be
That's-
rolled into the event fee.
Yeah.
Like,
I-
that would be an amplified permit that you would
But
have
what
to
I'm
have.
saying is that somebody, like, we would
Right,
have to have
has be the
staff
person that goes down.
go
Right.
down
Yeah.
there.
It's
So-
kind of feeling like maybe that we might be getting there anyway. To me, some of these weekends when you're down there and it's like wall to wall people and
Mhm.
people cooking and people smoking
I know.
and playing their loud music,
Yeah, people
we
text
may
me
be
all the
getting
time, there's
there.
dogs down
That we
here.
have to
Like, God.
work into the budget some kind of.
Or just
Well,
keep
what that
calling
works
the
into
Start
the
sheriff.
charging
budget is
people
it
on
increases
weekends
the
to park.
fees.
I
We
know.
have-
Like, you have to waive
Give that
the
nice sheriff
cost of
office
use
right there.
Right.
to include the cost of staff, so
I
that we don't
know.
lose our bets on that.
Mhm.
Because we really aren't in a position to
No, we are not.
allocate for that right now.
Well,
Let
you know
me
what we
just
can
say,
do is.
Then all I need to pass on is constituent complaint activity at Junction.
Mhm.
I've had, somebody has said something,
Mhm.
so.
And that's
Well-
important. I don't want
No,
the
it's good.
pitchforks
It's
and
good to
torches
know,
to
like-
show up.
No.
I want to head it off before we get there.
Yeah.
And we can engage, I mean, it might not be a bad idea. I mean, we're coming out of the summer months, but might not be a bad idea with the new sheriff office in town to invite them to a meeting,
Mhm.
maybe an informal meeting, and just say, hey, we're at the end of the summer.
Didn't we do that with the people around the dam? Park?
Yeah, we did it in this
We did that,
neighborhood.
but that was like a year ago. So
Uh-huh.
what I'm saying is that it wouldn't be a bad idea to kind of refresh that.
Uh-huh.
Maybe either invite neighbors or invite the public and have an informal meeting and just invite the sheriffs now that they have a town or the place in town and say, here's our concerns, here's what we're
Mhm.
seeing, this is what we would like, here's our rules that we would like to enforce. I mean, that would be a way of not having to, think about having a paid security or staff right away, just to see if that helps a little bit.
Yeah, it's a
not
good
a bad
idea.
idea to since we do pay our property taxes to
Mhm.
support them. So,
Yeah, I think we should do
Right.
it like we did it with the damn neighbors way back in the day.
Yep.
When you showed up all, what are you people doing? Sucker! You don't remember that?
that was a long time ago, but we had a Junction Park neighborhood meeting like
A
3
couple of years.
times
Yeah, we've
in
had
a
them a
year.
few times.
In a
I
year.
tried to
That's
do them
good
like
stuff.
before
Yeah.
it's always a problem this summer. I mean, no one's
Yeah.
renting there people rent that space for 3, maybe 4 months of the year.
It could be.
I think
even
the
Yeah,
rentals
which-
aren't.
which I'm
I
not-
think the rentals
yeah.
aren't the problem right now. What
Yeah.
I foresee as the problem is when it's really packed down there. There's dogs running around. There's
Right.
people smoking, and just to like have some sort of like assurance that it's not just the Wild West. That like
Right.
families aren't deterred from going down there because people are getting kind of wild and stuff.
Yeah, you almost need just
Well, the,
big security people
But that's
with their
what I'm
shirts.
saying is like if we
they come
engage
through, but
them
I
again,
don't know how.
if we
yeah.
engage them again, they are really good at patrolling during the week.
Uh-huh.
Coming down multiple times a day and just walking through. I mean, that's all the presence that we need.
But whose
Maybe
job is
asking-
it to ask someone to leave with a dog? Because even none of our staff feels comfortable
We
because
created
people
this
are.
in this policy manual. We have these regulated stipulations that we did just so and created a fee schedule, just so the fact that
They could be cited
they
by
could
law
be cited by
enforcement.
law enforcement. So that's in place.
Mhm.
We can talk to them about it and say, hey, we don't necessarily want to cite anyone, but can you please ask people to not bring their dogs or
Mhm.
remove their dogs from the park?
What we need to do is work on the damn court to incorporate it in the
Right.
bail schedule, but who knows what they're doing with that.
So I think that would be a good first kind of step.
I think the complaint that I was hearing was more about amplified music
Right.
than anything else. And just because they're right
Yeah,
across
I mean,
the
it
room.
sounds like there's, we're
So
talking
I
about a
think
few
we
different things.
we
that-
just I'll let her know that we're looking at that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay, yeah,
Is it someone I know?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I think I may know who it is.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I totally hear that. And I didn't realize, I was a bit shocked I've been going to some of these rentals now to see what's going on and not,
Right.
Before it was like, oh, you rent your picnic table and you have your group and
Your
maybe you rent the
birthday party.
pavilion and have a bigger
Yeah.
party and people get their food and you have your, alcohol, which is why you passed the alcohol permit to let
Mhm.
people do that.
People have
And
their.
I'm not quite
their
sure how
eye-
the bands things got started. Like someone said, oh, can I play some music down there? And I was not really anticipating, because people can rent the power, I just didn't realize there was gonna be a whole amp system and all this stuff.
It's probably somebody who came to one of our parties and realized what a great spot it was.
I'm sure.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sure, because it's taken some years, but we've had a few. Like there's been like one, like
Yeah.
someone's like, I had my little band play, and it wasn't like 5 band lineup all day long. This whole thing that I was like, wow, this is like, where's our cut? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
you rented it for $15 an hour. Come on,
Yeah.
So that whole thing, it's just gotten a little bit too big, and then, but I will make sure to mention about this weekend. I didn't realize it was multiple band lineup.
Maybe
I'm gonna have to
that's
go
what
check
the-
it out.
So
Maybe
anyway,
that's what the
I'm
Rotarians want.
very off the agenda, but
Weekend
that's
Okay.
just what I thought
No,
we were
thank you for
discussing, so.
bringing
I
that
have
to
real
my
issues
attention.
with the.
I didn't mean
members
to
of
go
the
on a
public doing that,
tangent,
though.
but it
No,
does
no.
it does bring up something that I hear quite a lot from people down at the park during all summer long. Just about the fact that
Oh, I do too. They text me all day long.
so
The
They send
dogs.
Pictures. Yep.
Dogs.
I know,
Dogs
it's
and
so
the
gross.
Smoking,
Smoking.
trash.
boom boxes.
So for a while, I used to go down there and I would approach people and say I'm from the Parks Department, wearing my blue shirt, and people said that's not true. I said no, it is true. I'm like an employee at the district. I realize it's a hot day and that you're here, but I'd like you at least put your dog on a leash or something. And people
Right.
have gotten. I mean,
They get really
it's
hostile
really
about
threatening.
it.
Yeah, and I'm
Yes.
like, I'm not worried they're gonna
And that's
hurt
why I
me,
don't
but I
want to
just
have
am like,
volunteers doing
this
that.
is not
It's
not
kind
a
of a
good
cop
role
thing.
for any of us to be in, because
No.
that's what I'm saying. Get the
Yeah.
sheriffs down there. Come on, guys.
they're down there, but they're not. The dog thing doesn't seem to be.
But that's why if we
Changing.
engage them
Yeah.
and let them know.
No, I like that,
what-
inviting
you know
them
what
to
I'm
the
saying?
meeting. Yep.
Like
It's
just
just
telling
too
them what our
many people and
concerns
kids
are.
for there to be loose dogs. I mean, maybe they
It
hear
does.
it that way.
It does suck when you're sitting there and a dog runs by and either shakes on you or runs across your blanket.
No, no,
And
there's
people are
plenty of
like,
reasons. It's too
oh,
small of a
he's
space."
nice. I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't
that's
care about him
always
being
the-
nice, but he's just like,
Or two dogs start fighting,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
I've seen happen. And you got toddlers and you
yeah,
got,
yeah.
you know.
I totally want there to be a place for dogs, but I mean, down there is not.
Yeah, that's not the
Doesn't
spot.
work when it's so small and there's lots of people.
Mhm.
Okay.
Well,
Another insoluble problem.
yeah, I'm like, same problems, different
All the
month.
time, different year.
Yeah. We could just have an agenda item every year for,
I know,
for
and it's like, it does feel
dogs,
like.
noise, toilets, same insoluble
I know.
problems. Okay,
All right.
All right.
Well, we really went off topic there.
sorry.
That's
That was
okay.
my fault.
It was the summer recap.
Well, my summer's been
It's after
good.
Labor Day, we're talking about all that. So, there's no action taken on this item, really,
Yeah.
it's just a discussion
Yeah.
item, no action was requested. We'll just wait and see how that goes, and now we come to the closed session, which is, basically when we're gonna adjourn into closed session to discuss conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, significant exposure to litigation pursuant to 54956.9B, one potential case. So we're going to go ahead and adjourn into closed session. Excuse members of the public, and thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
and listening to
Sharing
all that
your
discussion.
thoughts.